Hello, everyone. Thank you so much and welcome back. I hope wherever you are today, you're really feeling grounded, connected, grateful for the simple things, a breath of fresh air, cool drink, transportation, a warm blanket that hopefully kept you nice and toasty last night. It's the simple things that make our lives sweet. Today, I want to talk about being a slave to your emotions. Slave to your emotions. Free yourself today. Boy, I'm taking a really deep dive into this topic. So what are feelings? What are feelings and emotions running together? As I do often, I like to create my own definitions because in the grand scheme, everything has to make sense before our souls and spirits and our intellect can receive it. So to my estimation, this is based on over 21 years of practice, living, loving, working in this arena. Feelings are the waves and currents of emotions that exist under the sailboat of your life. I'll say again, feelings are the waves and currents of emotions that exist under the sailboat of your life. And folks, let me tell you, if you follow them exclusively, heaven only knows where you will end up. And I think if you really lean into what I just said, it becomes very, very clear that feelings and emotions in and of themselves is not a solid formula on how to move through this life, how to live your life. Case in point, I'm going to share a couple stories with you. I know a 44-year-old woman who talented. It's even painful for me to share the story. So spectacularly talented, just an amazing, brilliant human being. And I stand in awe of who this woman is and what inside of her she has to offer to the world. Now, because of a lack of emotional control that continues to lead her down this overwhelming stream of feelings, she consistently meanders into these relationships that are very damaging, very toxic, but initially it feels so good. It feels so good that, she's just like a mouse following the aroma of the cheddar cheese. And I recently asked her, setting emotion, the feelings and emotions aside, logically, what do you know about this latest individual who showed up? I'm asking you to go on pure intellect and logic, which you're a brilliant woman. So put the emotion aside and quick as snap your fingers. And you said, I'm telling you, logically, I know this relationship could be the one that just wipes me off the map. I mean, it's so emotionally charged. My feelings are all over the place. I can't focus on my work. I can't really focus the way I need to on my children. I'm literally a wreck. Logically, I know that if I don't get out now, the cleanup is just going to take me even far longer than the relationship lasted. And she succinctly ran it down for me. And it's interesting because that was my exact assessment. But these feelings and emotions had her in their grip. In other words, she had become a slave to the emotion. Very dangerous situation. Case in point. Next story I want to share. Man in his early 50s, just on the surface, fantastic life, beautiful family, healthy, but had been just depressed and overwhelmed with the emotion and feeling of depression most of his life. And we had a very interesting conversation. I put the same question to him. I said, the heavy feeling and emotion that has you consumed now, if you put it on the shelf for a moment, and it was almost like he was even reluctant to do that. Why? Because he was married to the emotions, a very deep, intimate, intertwined state of affairs. And so I said, again, I just want you to put it on the shelf. You can take it off the shelf and step into it momentarily. But logically, if you look at your life, logically, what kind of messages do you get? If you take out this heavy emotion you're wrapped in, and his eyes kind of lit up and he said, you know what, Sheila, I am so loved. I'm respected in the community. Even my dogs adore me. And I can't logically tell you why I felt this way over my lifespan. I can't say that my childhood was standard, average. It's just always felt like feelings. It's always felt like something is missing. And I said, well, again, let's put the feeling on the shelf. If you could say logically what is missing, what would it look like? And again, twinkle in his eye, he said, logically, I'm going to have to say what's missing is me. I feel like this is just really something I do to myself. Now, he was on to something. And why do heavy emotions tie us in bondage? And it's almost as if you are suffering through your own devices, because truly that is what is happening. Because over time, feelings will literally program. They become so deeply entrenched that they program. Those feelings change your physical experience of life. Those feelings change and shape your emotional experience of life. They shape your relationships. They shape your reality. They literally begin to shape the experience of reality that you are having. And I have to say, people have different views about it. It's almost as if we make emotions and feelings and intellect and logic compete against one another. There is no competition here. They are the perfect complement. That's why both exist. I mean, can you imagine getting in a sailboat? Going back to that sailboat analogy I started with, getting in a sailboat and just literally kind of let the boat spin around. Well, hell, wherever I end up, if it's the Caribbean, if I end up marooned on some deserted island, just let it go wherever the waves and currents carry me. That's what emotions will do. Now, what logic is that rudder. Logic is the compass, if you will. Logic is the interior machine inside the motherboard. It's the core that will lead and direct. And its logic is just as essential to living a balanced, beautiful, fruitful life. It's just as essential as being able to feel your emotions. I didn't say divorce yourself from your emotions. I said spend at least 5 to 10 minutes every day and ask a simple question. Logically, what do I know? Logically, what is revealed about this situation to me? Logically, what is the next step that makes sense for me to take? And I'll tell you, the prisons are filled with people who were emotions and feelings were leading their life and running rampant with it. It was based on emotions and feelings. And they will tell you, many of them, Sheila, it doesn't make sense. I've sat with many of these people. It doesn't make sense what I was doing. It doesn't, because it's illogical. You were led by emotion. Literally, you hear in the news every day This man took the life of two innocent, beautiful people, kidnapped the girl. People hear it on the news. What sense does it make? Folks, it doesn't make any sense. He was driven by emotion. Logic wasn't in there. It wasn't in there. And let me tell you something else. Sidebar. People who are heavily invested and living life rooted in emotion, it is a wide open door for dark influences to really seep in there and have their way with you. Why? Why? Because they can go wild on the currents and waves of emotions and feeling. Logic will stop that. Logic, it stops it dead in its tracks. Logic will say, it doesn't make sense to be rude and crude to anyone out here. I'm better than that. That's logic. Logic will tell you, oh yeah, I'm feeling like I want these beautiful pair of jeans and that cashmere white sweater and those boots. Oh, when I think about it, I feel so good. I'm going to be walking down the street and going to this event. And logic will come in and say, nice thought, girl. Nice thought. But we need to double check that bank account. Hold on. Logic is a preserver. It is a protector. It is an allied friend. And I strongly encourage and invite you to celebrate your logic, to pull it up. Smart people, logical people, rational people, reasonable people are happy people. Well, Sheila, I don't know if this logic, that's not exciting. It's the most exhilarating and exciting state of existence that you could experience. A beautiful partnership between your emotions and your logic will lead to a phenomenal and lifted life. This has been Inspirational Shorts with Sheila. I'll connect with you soon.